welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be doing an August wrap-up of all the books that I read and kind of give you guys a score and a rating. I know I've been gone from making videos for like about 3 weeks, I want to say, but I actually went back to work, like not physically, but I went back like remotely, and it's just been kind of, you know, juggling work and just like Zoom calls and all that. So that's why I haven't uploaded. I'm really sorry, but starting out from today, I will be pretty consistent, hopefully. So if you guys are interested in all the books that I read in the month of August, just go ahead and keep on watching and I can go ahead and give you guys my opinion. I did forget to mention that if you guys enjoy my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button, and also go ahead and turn on notifications so you can be updated every single time I upload, and go ahead and follow me on social media. I'll have my Instagram right here and link down below as well. And now we can finally go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with the order of how I read the books. And the first book that I read was The Silent Patient. And like I said on my last video, this is basically about this psychotherapist that is just really fascinated and almost obsessed with Alicia, which is this patient at a psych ward that shot her husband 5 times, and before she did this, it seemed like she had an amazing, perfect life. She was married, she was an artist, and then one day she just went crazy and shot her husband. And so Theo, which is the psychotherapist, is trying to just get to the bottom of it and really understand why Alicia did what she did, and he is very passionate about it and just wants to get like to the root of everything. And so basically we are following him as he is investigating more about Alicia and getting more of her like childhood stories, and then also we're kind of reading through Theo's life and getting to know some of his backstory as well, or yeah, his life basically. This book was a good read. At first I thought I was gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because the only thing it kind of lacked was that I was not connected to either of the characters. I didn't really care about Theo, which was the psychotherapist, and I did not give 1 cent about Alicia. I didn't feel like I liked her character. I didn't know much about her. She never really spoke, so it was kind of like I just wasn't connected to the characters. But I will say it did keep me turning the page almost all night because I wanted to find out what went on. Finally, when I figured out, or I didn't figure it out, I was told what was going on, I felt like a slap on the face. And so that was kind of good. So it was very unexpected, and it had like a really huge twist, which I was not expecting. So I did like the twist, and I am going to give it a 4 out of 5. The reason I'm not giving it a 5 out of 5 is because I just didn't really feel connected to the characters. I really didn't care for them much. I just kind of wanted to get to the bottom of the mystery. Alicia and Theo, I didn't really care for them. I wasn't connected, and that's the only thing that was missing. But overall it was a really good book, and it was really mysterious, and the twist at the end really got me, so I would definitely recommend for you to read it. The second book I read was My Dark Vanessa, and this was a pretty difficult book to read because of the topic it deals with. And basically it's about this 14-year-old girl, Vanessa. We are following her life both as a 14-year-old girl when she is still in school, and also by the time she's around 30, I believe. So we're following her in both time frames and understanding her story. And she basically, when she was 14 years old, she got into this abusive relationship with her English teacher, and it was horrible in my opinion. It was very, I mean, I think for everyone's opinion, it was just very disturbing. Her teacher was like a 42-year-old man, and it was just gross. And I just really, it was hard to read, like I was saying, because there is some very descriptive scenes. So if you are uncomfortable with that, it's hard to read. I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. But it's written in such a great way, and I feel like it really understands how grooming begins. I know that a lot of us that have never been through something like that probably think like, well, she could have said something, or she should have spoken up, or she could have said no, but absolutely not. The way you read this book and really see how she's being groomed and how she's being treated by this man, it's so good. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm not gonna give it a 5 out of 5 because it's a hard read. Like, some scenes are very descriptive, and the book overall, I felt really upset throughout the book because I hated her English teacher so much, obviously, because I knew how abusive he was being and basically was raping her. He was raping her, in my opinion, 100%. And I didn't like her as a 30-year-old woman because she was still in the mindset of, I was not abused, and I understand that this is probably where she was coming from, and I understand that she was kind of in denial, and it was too much for her to accept that this happened to her when she was 14 years old, but it was still upset to me how she still defended him for such a long time, and I just wished it had a different conclusion. I felt like I wanted something stronger, but at the same time, I feel like it stayed very true to real life. I feel like her story, it's just very real, and that's just how some abusive relationships happen, and I don't think everyone gets justice for what happens to them. So I really liked it. I might even read it again one day. It's definitely going to stay with me. That's kind of how I rate them, so if it's going to stay with me, I rate them 3 and above, and this is definitely one of those books. Very good. Definitely read it. Very good. Next book, you guys, it's The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes, and this is the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, and I was not expecting to like this book because I'm not a huge Hunger Games fan. Did read all the books, but they're not my favorite. I don't know. I don't like them that much. But I knew I had to pick up the sequel and I had to read it, and this is basically the story of President Snow, also named Coriolanus, which is such a weird name. But it's basically about, we are following his life as a capital-born citizen who, even though has a very respectable name, has actually no money, and he just really wants to gain back the respect of his last name and really wants power in a way. And we follow him while he is mentoring the District 12 girl tribute, Lucy Gray. And I have to say that I freaking loved this book. Like I said, it was very unexpected. I did give it, what did I give it? I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I know the reason why. So this book is split up into 3 sections. The first section, we're just kind of learning about Snow. We're gonna see how he kind of talks to Lucy Gray, how all that whole thing is going on, how the Hunger Games are doing. And then the second part, it's all about the Hunger Games. Lucy Gray in the Hunger Games, and Snow kind of helping her, you know, out here because he is her mentor. Now the third part, I'm not really going to tell you what the third part would be about because it would be spoiling it, so I won't say what the third part about. I won't say what the third part is about. But I will say that I felt like it dragged for so long. I think it was, I don't even know how many pages, but I feel like the third section of the book could have been done in less than 100 pages, and it was just like, it went on forever. The ending was really good. I have seen reviews on it after I read it saying how they don't think that Snow was really seen as a good guy, but I will be completely honest with you guys, throughout this whole book I was rooting for Snow. I was rooting for Lucy Gray. I wanted them to work out, and even though I knew throughout the whole book that I was reading that nothing good was going to come out of it, I was still rooting for Snow. I kind of understood him, which sounds horrible probably, but I feel like his circumstances really made him who he is now in the Hunger Games. So I ended up, I don't want to say sympathizing with him, but understanding more of him. And I thought his story was way, way better than Katniss. I hate Katniss. I don't like Katniss Everdeen. I don't know. I thought it was just stronger. I liked it way more. I like to see really the raw of the Hunger Games. So yeah, like I was saying, I think it really kind of showed the raw part of the Hunger Games and how they began. And I really liked it. I just really did. And I gave it a 4. What did I give it? A 4.5 or a 4 out of 5? I gave it a 4 out of 5. I feel like I should have given it a 4.5 because I really liked it. I just, again, the third part, I was just kind of like, really? Is this ever gonna end? So, but overall, it was good. I really liked the first and second part of it. It was pretty good. So, definitely recommend it. It's better than the Hunger Games. The next book, you guys. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're here, because I really have a lot to say about this book. This is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I think that's how you say her last name. I haven't said the authors of any other book. I'm sorry. This book, you guys. Okay, so I got this book because it was recommended by another YouTuber. I don't know what the name of this YouTuber was. Someone from BookTube probably, and I don't know, someone showed it in their video. I really liked the cover. The way they explain it to me seemed really interesting, and I thought, I'm gonna get that book. Okay, so the way that I thought this book was, okay, first of all, this book was not what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was about this girl, which is how they describe it in the synopsis. It says that it's about this girl, I forget her name. What's her name? Shane, that she did college completely the wrong way. Her first couple of years in college, she just didn't create any good friendships or relationships, and she just seems that she wants to do college all over again, kind of. And she goes on this internship to England, and she is kind of, it's awesome because, well, how I thought about it, I was like, it's awesome because she's going to be able to go to England, do this internship, and really kind of fill in for lost time almost. I thought, you know, she's going to live this awesome, you know, life while she's over there. She's going to try to make everything better. That's how I thought in my mind. Like, she's going to fall in love, and that's how the synopsis tells you that it's going to be. So I thought, awesome, great. Again, it's one of those books that is split up into 2 sections. I was reading the first section and I was really into it. I was really giddy. I was just kind of like swooning over the main guy in the book. I was like, oh, they're so cute together. This is gonna work out so well. You know, I know there's gonna be bumps and roads along the way, but it's gonna be good. Very quickly did I get to the second part. Extremely quickly. I think like the first 150 pages. I got to the second part of this book, and boy was I ready for a surprise, because how it was explained to me in the video and how the synopsis read to me was not the way it went. There is like magic and time travel involved in this. I really didn't like that. Really didn't like that. I really didn't like the way it went. I thought we were going through a good path. We were going well, and then we did a 180, and then we just went into magic and time travel, which I didn't think it was gonna go that route. And at one point I was like, well, am I just watching a Hallmark movie, or like a freeform movie, or what is this? What is this? And then the Shane character, I really didn't like her because she was obnoxious. At one point it was just over the top. She was over the top. I was done with her. I was kind of like, okay, like, I know you like all these things. It seems like you're extremely unique. I understand that. Great for you. But we don't have to know how unique you are in every single one of the pages. Like, I get it. You're unique. You're different. No one compares to you. great, but every other page, like, come on, like, I was over it. I'm like, I understand you're a fan of all these things, but there's only so many times you can let the reader know and let the person you're interested know. It's like, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm not going to go around telling everybody on the street, like, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan and just referencing everything Harry Potter. That would be weird. Like, why would I do that? So she just got under my nerves. Like, I was done with this. I was like, I was this close to, like, not even finishing it. And I was actually, once I ended up finishing it, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 just because I did like the beginning of it. It was good. I was into it. I really like this pilot character, which was her love interest. I was like, I liked him. I would give it a 3. Now that I really think about it, absolutely not. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Like, I don't even know. Like, I want my money back. Because this was just, this could be a Hallmark movie. I think I've seen this 100 times on Hallmark already. Clearly disappointed in this book. Clearly. Moving on. Alright guys, then I went ahead and I read Watching You by Lisa Jewell. Obsessed with this book. This was so good. I read it extremely quickly because I could just not put it down. I think I read it in about a day and a half, I want to say, because I was just into it and I needed to know who the killer was ASAP, and I just couldn't wait. So it's basically, it's really cool because it's about this huge neighborhood, well, not huge, but this neighborhood, and you get to know every single person that lives around there, kind of get their perspective or their view of the neighborhood from each character. You have, I forgot his name. You have this teacher, his name is, what the heck is his name? Mr. What is his name? I don't remember his name. Mr. What's his name? Mr. Tom Fitzwilliam. Okay, so we're following, like I said, a bunch of characters. We're following this girl. Her name is Joey, I believe, and Joey is married to, she has like a good life. She's like married, she lives with her brother. I mean, she's probably not living the best life, but I mean, she's married and she's trying to make it out in the world. She has like this job, not the best job, but she has a job, and she lives with her older brother who's a doctor who's also married, so the 4 of them kind of live in the same house together, and she just starts developing this like weird infatuation, I guess it's called, or like obsession for this like 50-year-old teacher that works at a high school there, and we're kind of following it along. And like I said, we are in the perspective of her, of another girl that's a student of this man, his son, and I believe one more person. No, I think those were the 3. So we're following all of them and just kind of describing how their different perspective on the teacher. And I loved it. I gave it a 4.5. The reason I gave it a 4.5, it's because or did I give it a 4? I think I gave it a 4. Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5. The reason I gave it a 4 out of 5 is because I figured out who the killer was pretty early on. And that's just because of me watching ID so much that I just realized who the killer was, and I was like, it's this person, and I was right. And towards the end of the book, it seemed more and more obvious that I was right. And also, I didn't really like the Joey character because she was like completely obsessed with this teacher who was a 50-year-old man. She was married to a perfect spouse, and I really did not understand this obsession. I really just didn't understand it. It was just ridiculous to me. And then the ending was really good though. The ending was good. And I don't know, I just really liked the writing of it. It kind of went from just reading the perspective of each character and then going into like a police interview, and that seemed really good because as you're reading it, you're also reading scripts from the police interview to see like kind of clues. And for the longest time, I didn't know who had died. I I kind of knew who the killer was going to be, but I didn't know who had died. Like, I knew from what house someone had died, but I didn't know specifically who. But it's really good. It's really good, and I definitely recommend it. And I actually have bought some new books from her because I feel like I'm going to read all of her books because they are very good. And I don't know. I like mysteries. So this was really good. I just wished I hadn't figured out so soon. And this whole Fitzwilliam dude, I hated him. Like, why was everybody obsessed with this 50-year-old man? Someone, please tell me. Alright, you guys, then of course, I read Midnight Sun. And Midnight Sun was just... I was going to give it a 4 out of 5, I'll be honest. But I have to give it a 5 out of 5 because it's just made me feel really, really good reading it. Yeah, I know. It's not better than Twilight, the first book, but it is, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed going through Edward's thoughts, and I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I really think that you have to be a fan of the Twilight series and really just love it for you to get this book. That's what needs to happen. And I actually read this book very slowly, and I was doing that intentionally because I didn't want it to be over. And so I kind of read a few pages here and there, and I tried to postpone it as much as I could, but I ended up finishing it. And I mean, it's nothing happens in this book that we don't already know, but I will say that you get just a little bit of like deeper conversations between them, and you get to know a little bit more of Bella, I think. I felt. And also you get to know more about Edward and what he's feeling. Of course he does some creepy things, but it's love, you know, it's all about love. And I was telling my sister this, I was like, the only thing about it, it's always Bella, you know. I wished I knew more about him, but at the same time I really thought about it, and I was like, well, this is a love story, so you cannot expect it to go a different way because it's about love, and it's about the love between Edward and Bella, and that is what you're gonna get. So if you expected something differently, you were wrong. So I loved it. I really enjoyed it, and really happy it finally came out. Really liked it. I really saw how in love Edward is. Edward really, really loves Bella, which we already knew. Alright, last but not least, because I'm already tired of talking, I read The Selection. And I gave, what did I give this? Okay, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I almost gave it a 5 out of 5, to be honest. Feels kind of bad that I would give a 5 out of 5 to this book, and then I would give my Dark Vanessa 4 out of 5, right? It seems like not okay, but I'm gonna tell you guys what. This is not the best book. Okay, this is not the best book out there. It's not the best written book. I feel like it's younger than YA, to be honest. Thought it's more like, I don't know, it seemed young to me the way it was written. I wish it was like more heavy with topics, especially like love kind of topics, but it's not like that. It's just a very innocent, good book. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. It's something that I know, it's like junk food almost. It's like, I know it's bad for me, but it's still so good that I just want more from it. I love this story. I think a lot of people know about this. This is a pretty old book, and it's basically based on like a dystopian world or dystopian government, and you have a prince that needs to get married, and so every time there's a prince that needs to get married, they hold a selection, which is kind of like a bachelor type, like the Bachelor show type of situation, where they get 35 girls from basically everywhere and bring them to the palace, and then he has to choose one out of the 35 girls. There we are following the story of America, and she is actually in love with someone from back home, and so she really didn't want to go into the selection to start off with, but she did it because the boyfriend that she had back home kind of pushed it onto her. He really didn't want her to like miss out on it, and also it would be kind of a good opportunity for her family to get some money while she's still in the competition. She doesn't necessarily have to win, and she will still like get financial assistance for her family while she's in the competition. So it's kind of good. Works either way. But it's awesome because she ends up kind of making a connection with the prince, which is Prince Maxon, and it's kind of a love triangle sort of type of thing. Not really. What I really liked about this is that the selection is still going on. Like, once I finished reading it, she was still in the competition and it wasn't over, and I went on Amazon and I had to order the other book because I was so intrigued and I really wanted to know what's up. So I am currently reading, which one am I reading right now? Reading The Elite right now. So I can't tell you what I think about this one yet because I'm not done with it. But I really liked it, and I have to give it a 4 out of 5 because even though it's kind of like, really, it's cheesy and it's, are you serious type of book, I really freaking liked it. The only reason I'm not giving it a 5 out of 5 is because I wish there was more like love. I wish there was like more interaction between her and Prince Maxon. I wish there was just like more. But it's, I mean, I feel like it's a very young book, and that's why there's not like, it's not after, okay? It's not after. Let's just put it that way. And yeah, I still really liked it, and this America character, I actually really liked her, which is different because I usually never like the main protagonist in these kind of books, and I ended up really liking her and agreeing with a lot of things she does. So yeah. Alright, you guys, I am finally done with my wrap up for the month of August. I am gonna have a September TBR because I have so many books in front of me that I will be reading this month, which I am super excited about. So just watch out for that. And I also have my updated piercing situation, what's going on. I know a lot of you guys have requested that, so that is coming up after this video. So do not forget again to turn on the bell notification button so you can be updated. All right, and with that being said, I'll see you guys later.